The world awoke to a seismic shift in the Middle East, as breaking news alerts flashed across screens and headlines dominated the global conversation. Overnight, a region already on edge was thrust into even deeper uncertainty, with millions anxiously awaiting details of what had just transpired. President Donald Trump, in a move that stunned both allies and adversaries, announced a major U.S. military strike on Iran. The world watched as he stepped up to the podium, his words carrying the weight of a historic decision that could reshape the balance of power in the region. In a late-night Oval Office address, Trump declared that key Iranian nuclear facilities had been completely obliterated. His tone was grave, underscoring the seriousness of the operation and the message it was meant to send, not just to Iran, but to the entire world. He emphasized the operation's precision and the safe return of all American forces, framing it as a flawless show of U.S. power. Trump praised the military's professionalism, highlighting the months of planning and intelligence that went into the mission. Trump warned Tehran, any retaliation by Iran will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. His warning was direct, leaving no doubt about the U.S. resolve to respond to any escalation. The strikes, carried out by B-2 stealth bombers using massive ordnance penetrators, targeted Iran's most fortified nuclear sites. The operation was described as a technological feat, with advanced weaponry used to ensure maximum impact and minimal collateral damage. The president's message was clear. The U.S. will act decisively to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran. Standing alongside top officials, Trump reaffirmed America's commitment to its allies and its determination to stop nuclear proliferation in the region. Around the globe, leaders and citizens alike reacted with a mix of shock, concern, and uncertainty. The world now waits to see if this bold move will force Iran back to negotiations or ignite a wider conflict that could engulf the region. As the hours tick by, the stakes have never been higher and the world holds its breath, watching for what comes next. The U.S. targeted 3 pillars of Iran's nuclear program: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan, each representing a critical stage in the country's nuclear ambitions. These sites are not just facilities, they are symbols of Iran's determination to advance its nuclear capabilities despite mounting international pressure and years of negotiations. Fordow, buried deep within a mountain and protected by layers of rock and concrete, symbolizes Iran's defiance. Built to withstand even the most powerful attacks, it stands as a testament to the country's resolve to protect its nuclear assets at all costs. Natanz, the industrial heart of the program, houses thousands of spinning centrifuges. Here, uranium is enriched to higher levels, bringing Iran closer to the threshold of nuclear capability. The sheer scale and complexity of Natanz make it a centerpiece of Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Esfahan plays a crucial role by converting raw uranium into gas, which is then fed into centrifuges for enrichment. Without Esfahan, the entire process would grind to a halt, making it a vital link in the nuclear chain. By striking all 3 sites simultaneously, the U.S. aimed to cripple Iran's nuclear infrastructure at every stage, from raw material to enriched uranium, delivering a powerful blow to the program's momentum. The operation was meticulously planned to set back Iran's nuclear ambitions for years, if not decades, forcing the country to reconsider its path forward. The message was clear: no part of Iran's nuclear ambitions is beyond America's reach, and any attempt to rebuild will be closely watched. The world is watching closely as uncertainty grips both the region and the international community. Will Iran recover and rebuild, or have its nuclear aspirations been irreparably shattered? The future of Iran's nuclear program now hangs in the balance, with global security and regional stability at stake. This strike was the climax of escalating U.S.-Iran-Israel tensions. Recent Israeli attacks on Iranian sites triggered Iranian retaliation, pushing the region to the brink. Trump and Netanyahu publicly clashed over who could destroy Iran's nuclear program, with Trump asserting only the U.S. had the capability. The collapse of the Iran nuclear deal and rising enrichment activities fueled anxiety and set the stage for military action. Intelligence disputes within the U.S. government echo past wars, raising questions about the true threat and the wisdom of this strike. The world's response was immediate, intense, and deeply divided. As news of the strike broke, governments and citizens alike scrambled to make sense of the rapidly unfolding events, with emotions running high and uncertainty spreading across continents. In Israel, leaders praised Trump's boldness, calling the operation a decisive stand against a growing threat. The military was placed on its highest alert, border positions reinforced, and emergency meetings held as officials braced for the possibility of swift Iranian retaliation. Iran's response was swift and furious. Officials condemned the attack in the strongest terms, accusing the IAEA of complicity and vowing to rebuild and even accelerate their nuclear program. Protests erupted in Tehran, with crowds demanding justice and promising resistance. The United Nations and Russia decried the strike as a dangerous escalation, warning that the world was teetering on the edge of a much larger conflict. Both called for restraint, urging all parties to step back from the brink and return to diplomacy before it was too late. In the United States, the operation sparked fierce and passionate debate. Some hailed it as a necessary act of strength, arguing it would deter future threats. Others condemned it as unconstitutional, reckless, and likely to drag America into another endless conflict. Lawmakers from both parties questioned the president's authority to order the strike without congressional approval, and many voiced concerns about the long-term consequences for U.S. security and global stability. The fallout is global, political, and deeply divisive. Across capitals and communities, people are split. Some see a necessary stand, others a reckless gamble with world peace. Tension fills city streets and living rooms alike, as people everywhere anxiously watch for updates, uncertain and fearful about what Iran's next move will be and how the world might respond. The risk of a wider war has never felt more real. With military forces mobilizing and leaders meeting behind closed doors, the world holds its breath, hoping for de-escalation but preparing for the worst. The world holds its breath as U.S. forces brace for Iranian retaliation. Experts warn of possible missile strikes, cyber attacks, or assaults on oil shipping lanes. Trump insists his offer of peace stands, but only under threat of overwhelming force. Iran faces a choice: escalate or return to the table under pressure. In Washington, legal and political battles over the strike's legitimacy intensify. The next days will determine if this is the start of a new war, or a return to diplomacy. For now, the world waits, caught between hope and fear.